Alrighty. Let's dive into the power rankings as we always do on the show. We do our top 10s, 10 down to 1. And then if you want to see the full list, Twitter is your best friend at @the_square pod. Go check that out there, along with us just talking about sports in general. Best way to get in touch with us outside of leaving a comment down below. So do both, and you'll be able to talk to us.
Yes.
Let's dive into it. Top 10s. Best teams in the NFL right now. 10 on down to 1. Starting off with number 10. I think I have a little bit of a shocker here.
All right, we're listening.
Buffalo, 5-3, drops 5 spots. They are the number 10 team in the NFL right now.
Wow. And you had them at 5?
At 5 last week, yes.
Okay. That is interesting. I don't have them down that low. But,
you lose to Jacksonville, don't put up a single touchdown, and
I know,
you let them beat you. You let Josh Allen and that defense look like
I can't go to the whole -9, -10 spot type thing. I was just like, this is getting ridiculous. But yeah, I completely understand, and will be factored into my future decisions too.
Okay.
I'm big on strength of schedule, so
yeah,
head to head, so that means a lot to me. With number 10, I have the LA Chargers.
Okay, I respect that. I have them a little bit higher, and I'll explain
they moved
why.
back into the top 10, actually. I had them. Where
I had them at 11 last week, and I moved them a little bit higher.
And yes, I had them at 12. So 12 to 10. It is what it is. But I Chargers at 10. So back in the top 10. Congratulations.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is nothing to complain about there. Who do you have at number 9?
My lowly Chiefs.
Chalk.
Kansas City.
I moved Kansas City up only the 1 spot from last week. Got the win, yeah. Offense looks horrid.
Yeah, I just and defense is not looking much better. So it's I'll take where they're at. They're playing like a 500 team. I know they're better than a 500 team, but they are. Yeah,
their record is 5-4, so they are technically better than 500.
With a bunch of problems. You're funny. And no jokes to be made right now.
Freaking hilarious. Hey, my Bears are all the way down at 24, so
I'm having I'm having a real problem with Kansas City right now. Just even in their wins, I'm just like I've probably seen more of their losses than I've seen in their wins. So
honestly, I could have dropped Kansas City out of the top 10 even with that win last week. But I had to give them their credit. They're playing ugly football. They remind me of Tennessee. Just Tennessee has so much more upside right now because they look more efficient. They're actually moving the ball, whereas Kansas City they're winning and they're winning ugly, but it's truly ugly all the way around. It's like it doesn't look good on offense. It doesn't look good on defense. I mean, I know you held Jordan Love to 7 points, but still, that's not moving the needle for me per se.
Right.
So that's where I feel like Kansas City's just in a bad spot right now.
No, I agree. And we had them trending slightly different in a sense, but just a few spots. But I had them at 11, and they moved up to 9. It like I said, they didn't move the needle much. They won. They won again. They needed to win. They didn't need to lose it, but that wasn't going to help. So you got to win what you got to win just to keep pace here. Yeah. So yeah.
And hey, they're right in the thick of things with that division. So speaking of that division, at 8 I have the LA Chargers.
A little higher, I see.
Move them a little bit higher. Philadelphia, to me, even I know their record is 3-6. That's a 33% winning average, but they are still a very tough team to go play. Granted, also they played this game on the road, so for the Chargers to go across country, play a very tough out team in Philadelphia, and pull off that win, and it's the best Justin Herbert has looked his entire career. Especially with losing his running back not really showing up for this game, not being really effective in the run game. Justin Herbert just took this game over, and they played great football throughout this entire game. All from start to finish, they played great football, and it was a complete game for them. And yeah, the defense could have played a little bit better, but hey, that offense came out and won the game. So,
Okay.
who do you have at 8?
At number 8, I have the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
They have significantly dropped 5 spots.
Sort of shuffling around our bottom 3 of the top 10.
basically, they go from 3 to 8.
Okay. So you dropped them 5 spots too. It's just from where we had them.
I was just trying to make sure I wasn't doing the excessive. 9 spots up, down. You're like, what the hell?
It was bad though. I would not be bad. I would not be mad at a 10-spot drop for that loss.
Which is what I was going to say. I don't think you could do anything that bad or that good to get dropped or raised that much. So but this could qualify. I wanted to drop them out of it completely, but I just thought it would. After trying to self-correct me with the Rams a few weeks ago, I'm like, I'm not gonna be all this over excessive movement. So,
yeah, no, I get that.
But fair. But yeah, 5 spots. I think that was more than fair. If Kansas City played half as better, they would have went down maybe one more spot.
Yeah,
it just. That's a good spot for y'all. 8. So
yeah. All right. Who do you have at 7?
Can't believe I'm even saying this. With an asterisk, Pittsburgh.
Oh wow, you put them in the top 10.
They were in the top 10 last week.
Oh,
I had them at 10.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So from 10 to 7.
Because last week I remember we had the conversation. We have the biggest disparity between what Pittsburgh is looking like. I know their record is freaking 5-3, but that is not a 5-3 fucking football team. So
no, I said with an asterisk. It's God. So they +3 for today for this week, and I got them at 7, and whatever. I looked at it from. I'm looking beyond last night, and I'm just looking at it from. They did win 4 straight games, and they have a 5-3 record. They're playing okay and good enough to get by right now. So as of today,
now I'm wondering if you have Pittsburgh in your top 10, who do you not have in your top 10? Is kind of the question.
Chelsea.
My number 7 will be the Dallas Cowboys. They also dropped 5 spots for me. Oh, I see you had Dallas way lower than I did last week, didn't you?
Dallas. Week 9. Had Dallas at 8.
And I'm assuming Dallas is the team that dropped out of the top 10 for you.
Assuming correctly.
Gotcha. So that makes a ton more sense now. I had Dallas all the way up to 2, all the way up to 2 last week, being at that they were 6-1, but absolutely getting ramrodded by the Denver freaking Broncos, who also didn't have Von Miller, and just I don't understand what that showing was offensively, but then also the defense. This is the defense we expected to see coming into the season. So I feel like there's a little bit of correction happening on one side, and it's overcorrecting against the offense as well. I'm expecting the offense to look a lot better. I don't expect the defense to be as bad, but I'm not expecting that defense to get back to what it was before this game.
Gotcha.
So I do think that Dallas has a lot of ground, that they have some vulnerabilities. They can be attacked, and there are ways to beat them, obviously. But yeah, I just think Dallas is still worthy of the top 10 for their offensive loan. Now, if they put up a showing like that offensively again this season, that's going to be another 5. That could be worthy of another 10, -10 drop for them, because your offense cannot play that inefficiently and ineffectively for a full 60 minutes. That across the board was horrible for what we saw out of Dallas on Sunday.
Yeah, when I got you ranked 8th on my power rankings, and you lose to a 23 ranked team, I'm sorry, you're out of the top 10. It's as simple as that. And you wasn't high enough to
keep yourself in it.
Yeah, just keep yourself kind of on the outskirts. You were on the outskirts last week.
But
you were trending up. Now they wouldn't. They moved back 4 spots. I have them at 12, so they're not far out of it. But as for week 10, they're not in the top 10 anymore. So
gotcha.
That is the team that fell out.
Understood. At 6, who do you got? Or wait, did you give your 7?
7 was Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh, yep. So,
At 6, bye week boys, Tampa Bay.
same chalk here. I kept them where they were. Did you have to move them at all based off other stuff?
Because of a bye, they actually moved up one spot.
Okay.
So it was
yeah.
No,
as long as if it's anything more than 1 on a bye, that's what I have an issue with. Moving them 1 or keeping them where they are, whether it's up or down, I'm perfectly fine with.
It depends on what's going on around them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something for me. It's probably a 3-spot radius, but 3 is really being extreme. Something really drastic had to happen, but
that's too much.
I'd never moved to more than 2 spots at any given point. But moving on, but I completely understand the thought process behind it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got chalk there, so let's jump into the top 5. The bane of my existence, the Green Bay Packers are at 5 for me.
Back with Green Bay at 5. Got it. Green Bay is not at 5 at all. Your fallen Giants, not the New York Giants.
Oh God.
The
Goes
LA
that far?
Rams are down from 1
4 spots?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't argue with it. Who they lose to? What do you mean?
Lost to Tennessee.
Lost to Tennessee.
I understand that. But
A team that you had in the top 10 before.
at 6. I mean, when you're at 1 and you lose to the 6, you end up at the end of the day, you 6. You know, like
fair. I'm not gonna. I have them at 4, so I dropped them 3 spots.
I get it. You ain't gonna be as
I'm just glad they're not in your number 1, because if that was the case, they're gonna lose again. So
exactly, they ran their little process, their little cycle, and they're down to 5. So they got a chance in a couple weeks to get back up there. So nice, another prime time game to get them knocked out of. So at 5, I got the Rams. If you want me at 4,
yeah, 4. Who do you have?
Green Bay.
Okay, so we just flip flopped our 5 and 4.
Yes. And that was kind of,
I am very intrigued
lost,
to see who we have. The shuffling of the top 3 then, because
right.
I know who you have.
Right.
I just don't know where you put them.
I didn't want to penalize Green Bay too much. I mean, they did lose Aaron Rodgers. Being fair, you lost your number 1. You're starting quarterback, and you're on the road, and you're going into Kansas City. I'm like, the fact that you walked out of that 13-7 was a moral victory for me. So I didn't really penalize them for that, because I mean they went from 2 to 4. So.
Okay, yeah, I had them at 3 and I dropped them down to 5. So we moved them the same amount of spots. We just had them at different spots to begin with. Top 3. Here we go. The best of the best in the NFL. Who do you got at 3?
Where it gets shaky for y'all. At 3, Baltimore Ravens.
Chalk. 6-2 Baltimore. They jump up 4 spots for me, and they get into the top 3. They played a good. I will say Minnesota is not an easy out by any means, and they played a very tough game against them. And Lamar Jackson made an MVP candidacy bid again in this game.
Okay. Before we go into the top 2, I had a question real quick.
Okay.
Should we just refer back to the bottom end now, or do we do it at the end?
Let's do it now.
Yeah, I was wondering, should we not end with that? We should just kind of like blend it in there somewhere.
Yeah. No, let's do it now. Oh wow, I didn't even realize I did this. Who do you have at 32?
32. Holding it down, Houston.
Same here, but I'm even more intrigued. Who do you have at 31?
Oh man, you ain't gonna believe this, but unfortunately, it was coming, and I was trying not to get him there. Detroit.
I disagree. Miami is still the 31 best team in the NFL, even with their garbage win against Houston. I keep them there.
I'm sorry. 0-8 is 0-8, and the fact
they were on a bye. I'm not dropping them. And they have a
Miami
very
beat the 32 team. It don't mean that they get to stay where they at.
They beat the only team worse than them. And you did what you were supposed to do.
One spot ahead of a bye team that has no wins. So, I mean,
in the words of Chris Rock, you did what you were supposed to do.
The only difference for Detroit any redeeming factor is the fact is all we can say is they did not lose. That's it because they did not play.
There's so many memes out there saying that even when they're on a bye, they lose.
All along. Let's get out of here. So Miami, I moved up one spot.
Fine. They'll be right back down there next week.
Absolutely. I just find it intriguing that we can even move them. And then Houston just got this gridlock. And Houston, this is the sad part. Houston is not even the worst team in the league.
They're not.
Yet, they're the worst in my power rankings. I'm like, dude, when are y'all ever gonna come off of this? 36?
It's because Detroit actually looks. They for the most part, they've looked good. They look good in their losses for the most part. They have a couple that are really bad, but I mean, Houston also looks good in their losses as well. But at the end of the day, they've had more blowout losses. I mean, obviously they have the 40-point, absolutely getting ramrodded by Buffalo and weren't able to put up any points. Right. And now Tyrod Taylor's back, so hey, maybe that puts them on some sort of a run to get out of this 32 spot, but it remains to be seen.
I have a dark horse that is going to challenge this 32 spot by the end of the year. And I'm putting it out there now. Take it for what it's worth. I don't care what you're about to say behind it. Carolina.
Oof.
I'm putting it out there. Trending down for the rest of the year.
They are. I am expecting Matt Rule to get some of this stuff corrected to make them look at least somewhat respectable. But they are now out of the playoff race for me. I know I was saying earlier on in the season, if they could continue to make these strides and continue to develop Sam Darnold and continue to work outside of Christian McCaffrey and work him back into the offense and whatnot. But even with all of that, this team has looked worse and worse from week to week. So I don't think that they'll fall to that 32 spot just being that Miami. I think as soon as Houston figures out themselves, Miami will have it unlocked. But
I'm going to find it intriguing because I'm saying from 28 to 32 is about as interesting as 1 through 5 for me. Because the carousel of just, and I'm just throwing it out there, most of it, we might have a one-team difference. And that's probably at best.
Yeah.
I got Carolina at 28, the Jets at 29, Miami at 30, Detroit at 31, and Houston at 32. Shuffle it any way you like. I just think, Carolina, I believe, is the best of that group, at least should be talent-wise and everything. However, I have a strange feeling the CMC thing is not going to matter, in the grand scheme of these next 8 weeks. It just, I could be wrong. I just have this hunch they're going to keep trending. So, trending down, I should say. But we shall see. It makes it intriguingly fun for me because I wasn't really so super high on this team anyway. Yeah. I was very impressed in September, and I was fooled. So
we all were.
Now I'm you feel I feel violated. You lied to me. You know how you feel about Nagy. Stop lying to me.
Yeah, stop lying to me, dude.
I'm like, tell me something, but don't lie to me. I don't know what something is. Just don't lie to me. Don't let me find out there's something else.
Let me find out. Let me find out. All right.
So, okay, back to the top 2.
Yeah. Number 2, I have the Tennessee Titans. They move up 6 spots for me. They go from 8 to 2. And they are the second best team as of today in the NFL.
6 spots?
Woo! They beat the Rams. They beat the best team in the NFL.
I'm tired of your bias here. You be just.
They beat the best team in the NFL.
Let me see. How many spots did the Rams fall?
3.
So the Rams fall 3 spots for losing. They
lost to a top 10
Tennessee
team.
Goes up 6 spots for winning.
Listen, this is the reasoning behind it. Tennessee beat the number 1 team in the NFL. The Rams lost to a top 10 team.
Where were they at?
Number 1.
No, Tennessee.
They were at 8.
Really low. But okay.
I know. But I moved. I'm taking into consideration where I had them, plus their play, not just their play this week, but their play over the last 2 weeks. It's also a trend. So they are continuously they've not that they've proven that they can play without Derrick Henry just yet, but they are looking better. I think that defense that defense had their game of the season so far. They really made the number one team in the NFL look very questionable and very shaky. I'm not expecting more of that from the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting the Rams to, if the Rams do this again, I will drop them even further because that will now be a trend of them playing like that. As opposed to, this is a one-off game. They just didn't show up. They had a bad offensive. They couldn't. They got out of the gate slow. They couldn't get out of the gate, as your race analogy was. They that gate opened up and they just stayed right there in the stable.
Sitting there.
So that's where I'm just like, okay, if this happens again, I'll have more concern. But they were the number one team. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. They had a tough game. They lost to a good team. You drop 3 spots. You drop down to 4. You're not in the top 3. You're definitely not the number one team anymore. Mm-hmm. But also, I have to give Tennessee the respect that they deserve. Without their number one player, they went on the road and literally just they punched the Rams in the mouth early and stayed on top of them for the rest of the game. They did that. They came in. They deserved to move up for beating the number one team in my eyes in the NFL the way that they did. But I will also give the Rams the benefit of the doubt for a week. If it continues, we'll have something else to say about it next week.
Well, you put it, you know, I don't want to come behind that because I've already shared with you what my opinion of Tennessee. I just think they're that new hard out team that could be a Super Bowl contender, but still have a Jekyll and Hyde effect to them, and we don't fully know who they are. I know I just checked every box for them. That's exactly they're a chameleon team. You just don't.
We don't know.
They're good. They're okay. They're average. They're great.
Do you have them at 2?
And I have them at 2.
No, that means
so we are chalked, and that means
Arizona will lose this week. Take the hard money line. Take the points if that even matters against Arizona this week.
Oh my God! At home hosting Carolina.
Oh no!
I know this sounds crazy, but I mean, I got a stat for y'all. I am 5-0 in the last 5 weeks. Whoever is in my number one,
you're like the
spot,
Manning cast.
Is it? I have not listened to
So the Manning cast, they have guests. They pull in current players every single week.
Mm-hmm.
One of them shows up on Manning cast that week. The very next week, they lose. They have been, I think, at this point now, I think they're also 5 for 5.
Let's go, Manning. We got something going here. But what I'm saying is, Arizona, smart money would say put your money on Arizona.
His stat?
My power ranking stats will tell you go the other way. Take Carolina and the points. So take it for what it's worth. Arizona has moved up 3 spots from number 4 last week to number 1.
Oh wow, we have the same thing. 4-1.
I don't like this spot. I don't like this stat. I'm hoping this is where the trend breaks. However, we are 5 for 5
in the last 5 weeks.
Yes. What is that? Totals in 9 weeks. 6-3.
Oh God, I
total. So just in the beginning, it was kind of But since we got off of that, it is. It's not looking good for Arizona. And with that caveat, Kyler Murray is not necessarily cleared to play this week.
Neither is Diop.
I don't like none of this about fantasy, by the way. I don't have a freaking quarterback, if that's the case.
Oh, yeah, Justin Fields on a bye.
And I don't have anybody to drop. So I have a problem. So anyway, all of this is kind of setting itself up. I'm just throwing this out here. So take it for what it's worth.
You want Teddy Bridgewater?
Leave me alone. Moving on. Arizona is number 1. We at chalk. So there it is. The new number 1 and new sheriffs of the NFL. God willing, Arizona will win.
Yeah, please break this streak, Arizona.
So in my power rankings, I'll just recap it. At number 1, I have Arizona. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 3, Baltimore. Number 4, Green Bay. Number 5, the Rams. Number 6, Tampa Bay. 7, Pittsburgh. 8, Buffalo. 9, Kansas City. And rounding off at 10, the LA Chargers.
And for me, number 1, Arizona. Tennessee is at 2. Baltimore takes 3. The Rams are at 4. Green Bay is at 5. Tampa at 6. 7 is Dallas. 8 is the Chargers. 9 is Kansas City. And 10 is Buffalo. Let us know what you guys think. Please pray for Arizona this week. And we will go ahead and wrap that up. And we will